Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a meal prep video for you. Ended up doing a lot more on this meal prep than I had planned. I did some dinners, some lunches, and a dessert. Let's get into the video. First up is my 3-meat chili. I really love to do the 3-meat chili because it makes it nice and chunky. Since we leave the beans out, you don't really miss them. We're going to need quite a few things. I did some green bell pepper, red bell pepper, some onions. We have our meats here, and then a ton of spices go into this as well, and then some tomato products. So in my pot here, and I do this in my crock pot, or my Instant Pot, but I do it under the slow cooker setting. So in here, we're going to add in our veggies first so we can get them nice and sauteed up. So I am adding in, I did add in a tiny bit of avocado oil. Didn't need a lot because we're going to get a lot of fat from the meats. And I'm going to add in some onion, the bell peppers, and then I'm just going to stir this around and let them cook until they're nice and softened up. Once the veggies are about halfway done, I'm going to add in my bacon, and I always do the bacon first. That way it can cook in with all those vegetables, and it just adds in a ton of flavor. Now, if you wanted to have crispy bacon in there, you can crisp the bacon up first and then add the veggies in. So I've done it both ways, but I find I don't have to have the bacon crispy for this type of soup, chili recipe. I just like to have the bacon in there for flavor. So I'm going to put that in there, stir it up, and then again finish cooking the veggies pretty much till they're all the way cooked through and the bacon is cooked through. After the veggies are all done, we're going to add in the ground beef next. So I just add in a pound of ground beef. For the bacon, I forgot to tell you, I did a half a pound of bacon. The original recipe that I used for this recipe calls for a pound of bacon, but I just did a half a pound of bacon, and it was the thick sliced bacon. And this, though, I do use a pound of ground beef, and I'm just going to put that in there and then start cooking that up. Once the ground beef is mostly cooked up, we're going to add in our stew meat. So I just buy this, meat that you use for stews, and I just put it in there. Now the ground beef again is not completely cooked through because this is going to be cooking for 6 to 8 hours. So I am just adding the stew meat in there, and then we're going to stir that around, and then we'll add in our spices. I've been making this for so long, I don't really need to measure out my spices, but I'll tell you what the measurements are. So you want to do 1 tablespoon of chili powder, a tablespoon of minced garlic, which I forgot to show you guys. I did put that in there. A tablespoon of brown sugar substitute. So I just use the monk fruit brown sugar sweetener for this. You want to do 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons of cumin, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then salt and pepper. Once all your spices are in there, you want to give it a good stir, and then we're going to add in our tomatoes. So we're adding in a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Don't drain it. You want that liquid. I do a 10-ounce can of Rotel. That's not in the original recipe, but I like the taste of Rotel. An 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Once I stir all the tomato products in, we're going to add in our broth. So I just use this beef brown broth from Walmart. You want to do 2 cups of the bone broth, and then stir it all around. Make sure everything is all incorporated, and then you're going to cook this on the slow cooker. So you can cook it on low for 6 hours or like high for 4 hours, but your main thing is just getting those flavors incorporated and getting that stew meat all nice and cooked up. And this is what it looked like after 6 hours. I did end up having this for dinner the night that I meal prepped this. And how I serve this, I will either add some cheese crisps on there, but I did not have any open, so I did some cheese and some sour cream. I also had some chicken to cook up, so I went ahead and put some chicken in the air fryer. These are some chicken thighs I had from over the weekend. I made some salads over the weekend. So I'm using my favorite seasoning from McCormick. This is the sea salt, pepper, garlic seasoning. So this is like my second batch of the chicken thighs. I put these in the air fryer at 400. I know I do everything on 400, you guys. It's easier that way. And then I did them for 20 minutes, and then I usually give them a flip after that and just cook them for just a couple minutes longer on the other side, and they come out perfect. Look at how perfect these thighs come out. And I love, love, love chicken thighs in the air fryer. So these are just nice to have as a lunch. I just had to cook them up, so I'll have them for my lunches this week. Or if I don't feel like making dinner one day, I can just cut these up and use them for that. I also had some burger patties I picked up on discount, so I wanted to cook those up. Again, I put them in 400. I'm adding some Montreal steak seasoning, and these go in for about 8 minutes, and they are perfect. For dinner one day this week, I'm doing stuffed meatballs. So I thought, while I'm meal prepping, I might as well just make these and just get my dinner prep out of the way. So these are stuffed with mozzarella cheese, and they are amazing. In my bowl here, I have a pound of sausage and a pound of ground beef. I like to use the mixture of both. It just adds a lot more flavor to them. I do have a recipe that I follow, and I linked it down below. You want to add in a half a cup of almond flour. Add in 1 egg, and then for spices, you want to do onion, like I did onion powder, Italian herbs, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And that's it. Super simple. I mean, not much to it. And then, of course, you're just going to mix this up really, really well, get everything all incorporated, and then we'll start making our meatballs. You can't see it, but off on the side there, I have some mozzarella cheese cubes. So this recipe, it said it made 24 meatballs. I think mine made 20, which is fine. I probably could have made them a little bit smaller, but it is what it is. So you want to put a chunk of cheese in the center and just wrap your meat around that, and that is that. You just want to make your meatballs there. So I really like having this type of stuff done and ready, because this, as you can see, it takes a little bit of time, but when you work all the way up until time to start dinner, it's just nice to have this ready to go. So if you have time to do any of your dinner prep on the weekend, I highly recommend doing it, just to make it super simple. Also, my family was having meatloaf for dinner, so I went ahead and made their meatloaf while I was doing their meal prep, because again, it was just easy to do that. So make it easy for yourself. If you're a working mom like myself, do some little shortcuts over the weekend that can help you out, because this definitely helps me out. So I'm just going to keep making these meatballs, putting the cheese in there. When I cook this, what I'll do is I'll cook the meatballs for a little bit first in the oven, not until they're cooked like all the way through, but mostly cooked through. And then after that, I will put the marinara sauce on top. My favorite marinara sauce is from Thrive Market, or I use the Rayo's marinara sauce, but I do have one from Thrive Market in my cupboard right now. So once I cook the meatballs, I'll put the marinara sauce on top. Now, this is just a personal preference, because I don't like it if you have to cook these for quite a while, and I just don't like how kind of dark the marinara sauce gets. So then I'll put them in there for about 10 minutes with the marinara sauce on top, and then for another 5 minutes, I'll put some mozzarella cheese on top, and then we'll have a nice dinner to go along with a salad on the side. So I'll probably make like a Caesar salad or something to go on the side of this, but you will see that in one of my daily vlogs coming up. So you guys know I have been loving the copycat protein bowls that I've been making. These are copycat of Subway. I guess I should show you where they're copycat from. So I'm doing the steak and cheese. So I picked up this meat from Fred Meyer, which is also a Kroger store. It's a super thin shaved beef. They also have shaved pork and shaved buffalo chicken, by the way. I do have some of the buffalo chicken in my freezer right now, so I might just make some protein bowls out of those next week. So this is what it looks like. It's super thin. It cooks super, super quick, so I just have a little tiny bit of avocado oil. I'm going to add on some of this Montreal steak seasoning, because I love it on everything. And then I'll start getting the veggies cut up while that is cooking. So you want to cut your green peppers super, super thin in the bowls, because I've had these from Subway, and they are really super thin sliced green peppers. So it's up to you how thin sliced you want to do them. So we're going to do some green peppers, and then we're going to cut up some red onion and then some tomatoes.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow, we can miss.
time to assemble the bowls. We have iceberg lettuce, some spinach. We're going to do the green peppers, the red onions. We're going to add on some Colby Jack cheese, the steak, and then we're going to do the tomatoes in a separate bag so they don't make my bowls soggy like last time. And we're topping this off with a chipotle ranch dressing that I'm going to make from scratch. So I have some of these chipotles in the adobo sauce. If you don't know what these are, you can find them in like the section where they have like, you know, the taco shells and refried beans and things like that. So you want to do, usually the adobo peppers are a lot bigger than this. So I did a couple adobo peppers in there. When I bought them before, the same brand too, they were a lot bigger. So I just did 2. And then also we're going to add in some smoked paprika. So you want 2 teaspoons of the smoked paprika. You want to do a 1/2 cup of sour cream. A 1/2 cup of mayo. Guys, salad dressings are so easy to make. I don't know why I don't make them more often. I think I say that every time I make a salad dressing, but it really is. I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring cup, by the way. So I'm doing 2 of those for the 1/2 cup. Then we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Then I'm going to use my last little packet that I got at Thrive Market. This is the ranch packet. I need to get more of these, so I need to do a Thrive Market haul soon just so I can get some more of these. They are such a cleaner alternative to like the Hidden Valley Ranch. And yes, you can make your own, but it's just nice to have it in a little packet. We're going to add a few drops of lime juice in this as well. And then I realized that because of the adobo pepper, I should have been making this in my blender cup, and that I can't really mix it up because I need to you know, crunch it up. So I have it in my blender cup. I'm going to go throw it into my processor real quick, and then you have this nice smooth dressing. So the dressing at Subway they use is like a Southwest. I think it's a Southwest dressing they use on this. So I have the chipotle one. So this is what my bowls will look like. I'll just add the dressing on top and add the tomatoes, and yum, you guys, doesn't this look absolutely amazing? My son does also eat these for lunch as well. I really want to have cold coffee this week. I don't know, I've just been like craving iced coffee. So I bought some cold brew in my grocery haul. I also have some in there. So I thought I'm going to make enough where I have enough for the whole week. So I have my 2 cold brew makers here. I'm using the Super Coffee, which I absolutely love this Super Coffee. Definitely picking up again at Costco when I see it. And the last thing we're going to make is our dessert. I'm making some strawberry chip cheesecake bars. These turned out amazing and everybody loved them. So first up, the crust, we're going to do 1 1/4 cup of almond flour, which I realized I was almost out of almond flour, y'all. I need to order some more. I need to do 2 tablespoons of powdered sweetener. I did not have any powdered sweetener, so as you can see in my blender cup here, I went ahead and just took some regular sweetener and then just blended it up in my blender. It was so easy to make your own powdered sweetener, and it's just so much better, cheaper, because powdered sweetener is usually a lot more expensive than the granulated. Then you want to add in 8 tablespoons of melted butter and just mix that around really well. And then you're going to get your 8x8 pan, but I'm going to use the same pan that I use all the time because I love it. It's just the perfect shape. It's like 5x11 or something like that. So use whatever kind of pan you want, but this is made for an 8x8. So you're going to go ahead and add your crust in there. Then you're going to smooth it out on the bottom and make it as even as possible. Then this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 6 minutes. While the crust is cooking, we're going to make our filling. So in a bowl, we need to add in 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, a 1/2 cup of that powdered sweetener. So again, I used the monk fruit sweetener from Lakanto, and I just made it into powdered sweetener. So you're going to take your mixer and you're just going to mix this all up until it's nice and smooth. I should mention too, make sure your cream cheese has been softened a little bit. So I just took it out in the beginning of when I started meal prepping, and then just left it kind of on the stove when I was heating up the oven, and it came out perfect. I mean, this was so smooth. I've had some issues before with cream cheese where it just does not want to mix up, but this was so smooth. Then you want to add in your strawberry chocolate chips, or whatever kind of chocolate chips that you want to add. I think I realized I forgot to show you what I'm using. So I'm using those new ones, the new strawberry white chocolate chips from Chalk Zero, and that's what inspired me to do this recipe. But this original recipe was actually a chocolate chip cheesecake bar, so you can use any chips you want. So I have a ton of the Lily's different flavors of the Lily's chips, and this recipe was so good. It's such a great base cheesecake bar recipe, and it tasted so good. You can use whatever chips you want to use. I actually contemplated using a little bit of strawberry extract if it wasn't quite strawberry enough, but these chocolate chips, or white chocolate chips, strawberry chips, whatever you call them, are absolutely amazing. I love them so much, and they have no like artificial sweeteners or anything. It's all natural flavors, which is great. Now, next time I make these, I will cook the crust a little bit longer. It says 6 minutes, and I think it's because you didn't want to overcook the crust since you're cooking it again. But this was so hard to spread onto this. So just so you know, mine broke up quite a bit, which was okay because you're just putting that cheesecake on there, and you could probably even make these without even a crust at all. But I just suggest maybe cooking that crust a little bit longer. I would say, I think I may even go as far as doing 10 minutes, and I think it would still be okay and not overcook too much after you cook the bars. So just spread this as evenly as you can. But like I said, I just wanted to let you guys know, just so you know, I also had issues. So if you have some issues with it, you were not alone. This is going to go in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes to cook the rest of this through, and this is what it looked like when it came out of the oven. It was all cooked through, not jiggly at all. I went ahead and just put it off to the side and let it cool completely before I cut it. I did not put it in the refrigerator or anything because I didn't want it to crack, so I went ahead and just let it set out and just completely cool. So it probably cooled for about 3 hours before I cut it, and this is what it looked like when I pulled it out of the pan, and these are what they look like when I cut them up. You guys, again, these are so good. This is such a versatile recipe. I think I will definitely be doing lots of experimenting with these cheesecake bars. And that is everything I meal prepped this week. You guys, check out the description box for all the recipes that inspired this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.